Dimensions are pretty hard to wrap your head around sometimes, and with length being one dimension, area being two dimensions, and volume being three dimensions, trying to make SI definitions with them can be daunting if you don't know the math. Hello students, my name is Professor Waugh. I've been teaching Intro Chem for over 31 years. For today, we're going to finish up our length, area, and volume series. This video might contain some pretty complicated topics for you, so if there's anything I can do to clarify them, please don't hesitate to contact me through email. Okay, let's start class. Quick note before we begin, we have a website. There you can find all the notes we write for our videos. We also have quizzes and assessments, so go check us out. Thanks. Hi students, let's now get into volume, which is length cubed. So we're going to do the same thing we did with area, but instead of squaring your length definition, you're going to cube it. So this is real easy for you. How many cubic kilometers are in 8.99 times 10 to the minus 2 cubic hectometers? All right. How many is the question mark? What you're talking about is cubic kilometers. RN is the equal sign, and what is given? 8.99 times 10 to the minus 2 cubic hectometers. So let's set up the equation. Take the words and put them into math. So a cubic kilometer is equal to, that's my question mark, 8.99 times 10 to the minus 2 cubic hectometers. So let's make our definition just like we did before. We'll start off with length and just cube it. So just multiply your power of 10 by 3. So we know for length, there's only one space between it, or just do your memorization. 1 times 10 to the 1 hectometers is equal to 1 kilometer. So we cube it. And so what we will use is 1 times 10 to the third cubic hectometers. 1 times 3 is 3, is equal to 1 cubic kilometer. So just cube the SI definition, multiply the power of 10 by 3. So when we set up the problem, you're going to again have to have the cubic hectometer in the denominator at the bottom so they can say, boom, cancel out. So 8.99 times 10 to the minus 2 cubic hectometers divided by 1 times 10 to the third cubic hectometers is equal to 8.99 times 10 to the minus 5 cubic kilometers. Okay, we got that down. All right, now you got to be careful. Let's talk about this. If the base unit changes, I want you to use the following definition. 1 cubic centimeter is the same thing as 1 milliliter. I used to have my ninth graders, old days, make up a little box that was 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. And then you take a volumetric pipette and for 1 milliliter and fill it up, and boom, it's exactly that capacity. 1 milliliter is the same thing as 1 cubic centimeter box. Isn't that the coolest? All right, so be careful. If you see that the base unit changes, use that. There's another one, but this is the best one to use. An example, how many cubic meters are in 7.50 times 10 to the 5th hectoliters? Do you see that? The question mark is cubic meters, and what I'm looking for is 7.50 times 10 to the 5th hectoliters. So my base has changed. Okay, so now it's time to look at the path. So we start off with the first step, going from a hectoliter over to the milliliter. Then we're going to use that definition I told you I want you to memorize, a milliliter to a cubic centimeter. And then we can do the same thing we just did with volume and go from a cubic centimeter to a cubic meter, okay, where we cube our length definition. So as you can see, 1 hectoliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the 5th milliliters. You should know how to do that. And then 1 milliliter is the same thing as 1 cubic centimeter. That'll be the second step. And the last step, we take the 1 times 10 to the 2 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. That's just length. And then we cube that, just multiply that SI definition by 3, right? The power by 3. So 1 times 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters, 1 cubic meter. Now, we can do a stepwise method, as you can see down below. We can go from milliliter, start off with a hectoliter, and go to milliliter. Then we can go to a cubic centimeter, because a milliliter and a cubic centimeter are the same thing. Then we can go from a cubic centimeter to a cubic meter. See, you can do it in 3 steps. But the best way to do it is the way I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so now let's do it the way I like it, where we do just one long equation and be done with it. We start off with question mark cubic meters is equal to 7.50 times 10 to the 5th hectoliters. Then in step 1, we put the hectoliters in the denominator, boom, cancel it out, and put the 1 times 10 to the 5th milliliters in the numerator. So if a number's in the numerator on the top, you just multiply by that. Then the second step, what we're going to do, we know our little definition. We're going to put the milliliters in the denominator, which is only 1. And that's 1 cubic centimeter at the numerator at the top. Don't even stress that. But now we end up with, boom, the milliliters cancel. Last step, step 3, is that we put the 1 times 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters in the denominator and the 1 cubic meter in the numerator. Boom! We have to divide by that last one, that last step, because the number's in the denominator. So we input it. You can just add anything that you're multiplying the powers with and subtract it if you're dividing the powers. So the answer becomes 7.50 times 10 to the 4th cubic meters. See that? Thank you for attending class. To recap, making SI definitions with length cubed isn't that different from area. However, remember, if the base unit changes from liter to cubic meter or the reverse, use 1 milliliter is equal to 1 cubic centimeter to help solve the problem. You can use a stepwise method or one long equation, which I personally prefer. This way, the only thing you have to pay attention to is whether the powers of 10 are in the numerator or denominator when canceling out units. Just remember, the power of 10, if it's in the numerator, then you add your powers. And if the power of 10 is in the denominator, then you have to subtract the powers. Once again, thanks for watching. We are A Friend in Chem, and our mission is to help students learn introductory chemistry. Our email and website is in the description. So if there's any way we can help you, please contact us. We want you to be successful in chemistry, enjoy chemistry, and have fun with chemistry. Until next time, take care.